My name's Candace, and I live in Griffin, Georgia. I was 2 years old when I initially went into foster care, and I was in and out of foster care from the time I was 2 till the time I was 13. So I do have a few little things I wanted to share with y'all. I kind of took some little notes so that I could make sure I hit it all. Like I said, I did live in and out of foster care from the time I was 2. I was adopted at the age of 13. I did go back and forth between my biological father through different foster care systems. Like I said, I was adopted at the age of 13. Like most children who went through the foster care system, I had gone through so many different foster homes. I was just kind of lost, beaten, and worn down from just being tossed and turned. And I kind of felt like I was unworthy, unloved, like there just wasn't a place for me anywhere, just because I had been tossed back and forth and there was just no stability for me. Um, I felt like by the time I was 12, 13 years old, that there was just that was going to be the norm for me, that I was just going to live in and out of that system for the rest of my life, that there was just nowhere. Who was going to adopt a teenager really at that point? Um, but to my surprise, there was a family that felt like that I was worthy. And in October of 1991, I was adopted at the age of 13. And I'd actually lived with them in the foster care as a foster child a couple of years prior to that. But I had been sent back home to my biological father. But within a couple of years, I was actually returned back to the system. And at that point, the system did terminate the rights. And they picked me up and this family decided to adopt me. And so that was wonderful. Adoption gave me stability and a family that I had not had, and that the assurance that I wouldn't have had I'd stayed living with my biological father, just because of some of the situations that had occurred to me. So there was a lot of pain and anguish that had occurred throughout the 13 years of my life. And so to have a family that just provided that stability for me meant a lot. And when they adopted me in October of 1991, it was right there near my 13th birthday, and there was no greater gift that I could have received than being adopted. And at that age, kids like gifts, but for me, it wasn't about the gifts. It was just having that family that I could call mine. Children like stability. They don't like being bounced around back and forth. So a huge thing for adoption was just having that stability and that family. When you're tossed around back and forth between homes, you don't have all the items, I guess you would say, that you get to have with you. You generally have to pick up a bag of clothes, and that's all you have, and maybe a little bag with just a few little personal items. Whereas when you have a home that you can call yours, you have stuff that's yours. When you have to choose if I'm going to take that elementary yearbook with me, or if I'm going to take something else, those were decisions I had to make. And not having some of those childhood memories is tough, just baby pictures and yearbooks and just different things that we all take for granted with our own kids, that a lot of kids don't get to have when they are tossed around between homes. So, as I was adopted, I was able to have those memories of mine that I could start saving and having to show my kids one day. Oftentimes I would have to choose, when I lived with my biological father, if I was going to have different things that I could take with me when I knew the system was coming to get me, or it may have been unexpected. I didn't get to have the choice to bring items with me. And I know as I became older, there was just different things I can remember that I had that back then that I wished I could still have to this day, to be able to show my kids, hey, this was some of the things that, like I said, yearbooks, just different things I had done at school that as parents we keep now of our kids, but I don't have those to show my own kids. But what I do have is a family that had adopted me and took me in and gave me the love and attention that I needed. As time passed, I began to realize that being a part of a family, I was just treated just like the rest of them. There was no special treatment because I was the new kid that came in. I was a part of that family, and that was really special to me. I had a brother, I had sisters, I had, just that connection with them was something special. Having a family meant that I could call them mom and dad, and not to say that that was easy. It took time. You always have that fear of, is this going to be long term, or are they too going to get rid of me? But it wasn't the case. They chose to keep me, and I was their family. You wouldn't just get rid of your own child. They love me just like they love their own kids. To me, adoption gives kids hope that they're going to be able to have a normal life, just like we all hope to have, just like we all want our kids to have, is to have a family to call their own. Just knowing that you can wake up every morning and have a place to lay your head. And whereas kids who have been through the system, they don't know from one morning to the next where they're going to be sleeping. But to have that family to where I could just rest and not have to have those worries. Adoption plays a huge part in our communities and in the lives of children. Without the willingness of adoptive parents, many children would never experience what a true family was like. And they wouldn't know what it was like to be loved. And for me, just knowing that there are foster parents out there and people who want to adopt, to me, it's very important. It's not about materialistic things as an adoptive parent. It's not about the money. What it's about is, can you provide the love for them? Can you provide a home for them just to be able to lay their head down? I'm not saying that foster parenting or being an adoptive parent is going to be an easy task, but neither is raising our own children. Is that an easy task? But what I will say is the long lasting impression that you can leave in a child's heart just for loving them and taking them in when they feel like they're not worthy, or that they feel like they have no other place to go. To me, it's just special, just knowing that there's families out there that want to adopt. If I could do anything to encourage you to adopt, I would strongly recommend it, because you can be the change in the life of a child forever. Thank you.